Happy Halloween, it's great to see you. I thought I would share a bit of a longer craft with me today. So I made a couple of these shaker ghosts for the Memory Decks Poochie's Movie Mondays. And when I did that, I cut out some bigger ones to test out. And so I've decided to turn those into tag flips. I have the little SVG file linked in the description for you. This one is from Etsy and it gives you a bunch of different options. So there's the shaker ghost, there's one without the shaker window. I think you can have like the whole thing, or you can, the face is like loads and loads of different options within the file. So it's a great file to have. I've gone ahead and cut out the shaker version, and I have cut out the front pieces in this silver holographic that is from the Works, I believe. And then I've stitched all around the edge, added my acetate. I added acetate and a layer of tulle with stars on it, and then stitched all around the edge of that, and that's made my shaker window. Adding in some sequins now. So I started off doing this and then decided to film, so that's why they're sort of, it's half finished already with the shaker window and that and the little face on there. But I made them the way I make all of my shakers, so I will link the Memory Decks video below because I show you how I do it on there. Also, because I was filming this and then changed my mind, I start off with this little holographic ghosty, and then I switch to a different tag flip where I sort of filmed half of one and then half of the other, but they worked out pretty much the same. So I'm just putting some bits on here that I know I want to add. Some embellishments that I've made, a little eye mask, a little doodle pop, and then we switch on to the other tag flip. So I have cut out all ghost shapes for this one. So the previous one that you just saw me beginning to make, I added all different shapes for the tags. This one I did all little ghosts. So I have got a full ghost here that I'm going to fill with sequin mix. So this is another one of the shapes that you get in that cut file. And I'm just backing that front one. So the front one, this one is glitter paper, glitter card, sorry. And that is from, I think, The Range is where that one's from. And obviously the little holographic one also turned into a tag flip, but a different one, so we still get to make one together. I'm adding this orange piece onto the back to cover up that stitching. Obviously I'll have to punch the hole through as well. You can see I've covered that up by accident. So punch that through. I add an eyelet, I believe. I definitely added an eyelet to the other one. And then I'm just showing you all the different pages that I've made to go into this one. The back one has that silver glitter as well, and I'm adding one of these little Boo to You pieces. I would definitely recommend making little handmade by labels and using little themed digitals. I think that looks really sweet. So back to this pink ghost that I'm turning into a shaker. This one, as usual, I have glued the shaker frame onto acetate, stitched around it, cut around the shape, and now it's ready to add. I also added some stitching to the little made by label. I'm sticking that on the back there. I actually have a horrible sore throat at the moment, so I'm sorry if I sound a little bit strange. And as usual, the dog's wandering around, so her collar is making that irritating jingle sound. I've actually just taken it off because I've had enough, so I'm sorry if those noises are bothering you. But hopefully it's not too bad now. So I'm adding the foam tape strips from Amazon around the edge. I've got these little bats that I die cut, I think for the little mini mugs that I made. There's a picture of those on my Instagram if you're interested. And these little bats were left over. So I have put those in there, and then a bunch of these little clay pieces that Chloe used, and they're gorgeous, aren't they? They're so, so cute. And I thought, because this will be like a whole page, this isn't a shaker element in that like it's an embellishment, more sort of that the recipient can open it up and use the little clay pieces that are in there. Because I thought the paper ones would be easy enough to take out. She doesn't want to use those in the mix. And it means that she gets a bunch of those really fun clay pieces. I had to add an eyelet to this one so that they didn't all escape out of the hole at the top. So I'm adding this pink one from 𝓚 and then just setting that with the eyelet thing. I'm sure you're supposed to use certain settings for certain eyelets, but I have no idea what's going on with that. So if you know how to work that properly, please let me know. I know that you sort of twist it so that it holds the smaller or the bigger eyelets, and that's about the length of my knowledge. So the total of my knowledge, I guess I should say. So I need to look that up and see how I should be using that properly, because I don't think I'm using it to its full potential. Now we have 3 tags on our little ring. I think that ring is from AliExpress. I've got the orange one, which is slightly smaller, and then the white one. I'm not sure what one we end up using. Might be the white one. I think I need the extra space. Adding in some bits here. So these are bits that I already added to the first one, and I'm just adding the same into this one. There we go. Looking through all of my packaging to see what else I can add. This little envelope is from, I want to say some razors or something that I got, and it was in really pretty pink packaging. So I feel I will decorate the front, cover up what it says, and it will make a cute little Happy Mail envelope. This Keep Calm and Eat Candy is a cut apart piece from one of the printable kits. What one is that from? I want to say Hey Pumpkin maybe, and I've cut it out and left it in my stash. So I'm just finding a space to use that. I added some of that leftover star tulle, and I've added a piece of vellum that was on my desk, and then just added a couple of stitch lines to hold those together. Looking through that little clear plastic container on my desk again is all things from last year. Some little, what are they called, safety pin charms, little ghost, some little shrink charms. The tiny mugs, I'm sure they're a die, but I'm not, I think they're a Rosie Studio die actually. When I pulled those out, I thought they would be great to include as just little embellishments. So I've grabbed all of those things out. Decided to colour in the eyes and the mouth of this little ghosty. So I'm just using a normal black felt tip for that. I wanted the little ghost on the left there, and I wanted to be holding something. So I go through a few options. I've actually added some little pink cheeks there as well. I thought he needed those. So I go for the Sweet and Spooky puffy stickers. These are some of my favourite things. I love that Doodlebug are doing puffy stickers now. And they're such big sheets as well that you get so many. I've actually just ordered the Gingerbread Kisses collection, and they'd sold out of the puffy stickers, and I went on a hunt to all different UK scrapbook stores till I found them. So I'm excited about the puffy stickers. Adding some double-sided tape onto the back of this. I added it sort of in between the layers so it would all stay flat, and then on the back to hold it onto the envelope. I stick that down and realise that the envelope opens from the top, and I don't want that because when I put a hole through it, it won't work. So I peel that up and turn it the other way so that the envelope will open at the bottom. I love how that little ghost looks like he's holding the chocolate bar. I thought that looked really sweet. Punched my hole there, adding some more tape, making sure that's really stuck down. And there is some wording on the back, but we cover that later. I add, I think, foam tape to my little ghost. Yeah, adding a bunch of foam tape on the back here. Cutting that to size, and then sticking him on the bottom left there. I give him another little sweet to hold. So I think about this candy corn, but I end up going with one of the lollipops, the yellow one. There we go. Give him that in his other hand, and then pop some foam tape behind it to hold it in place. And then that one is ready to add into the tag flip. I have actually torn that little piece and added some staples for a bit of extra texture. That is something that I think it's Sue's Fish I've seen do that, and I really like it. So decided it needed that before I added it into the tag flip, and this little yellow star as well. Bring that yellow all the way across. There we go. Now it's ready to add. Is it? No, I'm wrong again. I put a little embellishment inside. See, when I made this, I sort of skipped between the pages, and when I've edited it, I've stitched all of each page together, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm getting confused about what happened and how I've edited it. but it looks like I have stitched this bit together. So I've got the tag with the envelope rather, with the embellishment inside it. And now I'm just working out how to cover that wording at the back. And I go for a torn paper strip. This is my We Are Memory Keepers tear guide ruler. Gets so much use in my craft room now. And I'm just using that to cover the wording, and then I'm putting the 𝓬𝓸𝓬𝓪 to You little made by sticker on there as well. There we go, some double-sided tape, and then that covers the wording that was already on the envelope. Makes it usable as a little envelope in the tag flip. I do like to reuse packaging where I can, especially pretty pink packaging. There we go, adding that on the back there. And now it's ready to add to the tag flip, is it? No, more glue. Apparently you need more glue to hold it down, hot glue this time. Using all the adhesives for this one. Gotta make sure that front piece is stuck down nice and securely. Are we? We must be done with the glue now. It must be ready. Yes, I can finally add it into the tag flip. I'm actually adding some sequins on the front now. So I am using more hot glue, sticking down a couple of little sequins. This thing on the right, the rubber thing that I was just using to poke the sequins down, that actually came with the hot glue gun. And I've never used it for that purpose before, and I should have, because it's the perfect thing to use to stick them into the hot glue. A lot less burnt fingers doing it that way. There we go, that one's ready. And then where do we go next? I think I move on to the next ghost, which would be the pink one. Oh no, I decided to add these little mugs that I showed you a second ago, and I use this old Rosie's Studio packaging, sorry. This is from one of the little dyers, probably the dyer that actually made those little mugs. So I'm using some scrap paper, just covering up the background there, making it a little bit more spooky. This is a Rosie's Studio printable paper, so this is Midnight Moonlight. I absolutely love that collection, it's so, so sweet. And then the skull paper is from 𝓛𝓲𝓬𝓮. And I'm just adding that along the bottom. There we go, and that gives me a nice background for these mugs. Luckily enough, just because of the shape of them, they fit quite nicely, the two of them on there. So I'm adding a bit of foam tape onto the back, using that to hold them in place. Putting that back into the cellophane packaging it came from. And there we go, a nice little extra to add into the tag flip. I want to add another little made by label on the back there, so I've used the, I think that one says made with love, that one, it's got my little character on it that Keisha drew for me, the creative ink. She draws such adorable things. Using one of these little safety pins on the side there, give it a little bit of extra something. And I add a little bit of washi tape on the back there just to hold it in place as I'm moving through the tag flip. This is a box of embellishments that I made. I hadn't packaged any of these up yet, so I'm looking through and seeing what ones I want to add into this tag flip. I decide to turn this page into a pocket. So I've just used acetate, put it on the bottom there, stitched around the edge. And then I'm filling that up with pieces of ephemera from my desk. I keep all of my Halloween ephemera together, so if I'm sent it or buy it, etc., I keep it all in a big A4 clear popper wallet. And it makes it easier to dig through. I haven't got as much Halloween stuff, so it's easy to have it all in the one place. And then I decide this little mug embellishment works quite nicely on the front there, and it means that I get to gift that one as well. So where are we going next? Like I said, I sort of went through the little pages and just did them randomly. So I found a bunch more of these safety pin embellishments, decided to gift 3 of those. I think I've got a video making these because I remember making the shrink charms in a video. The little Wicked Good Time and the pumpkin banner are shrink charms, so I've printed the digitals onto the shrink plastic, cut them out and turn them into charms. If I can find the video for that, I will link it. If not, let me know if you'd like to see a video on how to do that. because I think they ended up really sweet. So I've just added those on with some washi tape you saw there. I wanted to add those pumpkins on the back. I'm not sorry, excuse me. I'm not sure how they looked stacked like that, so I go back to this little pocket page, and this Boo to You piece fits perfectly. Another digital, this one, and it was in my, you can see the little wallet on the left there, as was this little bat. And so I just pulled those two out and I'm adding them onto this page to make it a little bit more spooky. I moved this bat around so many times. I decide that it needs foam tape. There we go. And then the Boo to You, I just add normal tape onto the back of that and add it on like a little banner on the clear piece. There we go. Add that on there. And is that, I think that's that page done. I think we move on to another, a little bit more foam tape for the bat. Oh, and hot glue. I do like to mix my adhesives. There we go. Then on to, where do we go? Oh no, do we add sequins? Sorry, I filmed a bunch of these all together. And as you guys know by now, I voice over a lot later. So I'm always as surprised as you are as to where we go next. Yeah, we are adding some sequins. So just little dobs of hot glue and then poking some sequins onto those. These are all different pink ones. I think I've got a mix on my desk somewhere. You can't see it. But I've usually got some kind of mix that I've been working with, and I'll just grab sequins out of there. Most of my sequins are from AliExpress. I've ordered a few from Temu recently actually to try out, and I did make one order from Cartwright Sequins a while back for the like iridescent pink ones. I just did one there, literally right there. They are some of my favourites, but the shipping is just, oh, it's astronomical, isn't it, to get things like that shipped to the UK. So I'm using them sparingly. Deciding how to decorate this shaker. I wanted her to know that she could like open it up and take the sequins out, if that makes sense. I didn't want her to sort of be like, oh, I don't want to destroy it when it's meant to be destroyed. So I went for these beads that say open me, and I put those all onto a needle, added my hot glue and then stuck them down. That way they didn't all move about, they stayed in a line. So I thought that was quite a good little hack there to keep them all on the same level. I do the me and the heart separately. Probably could have done those together on the needle, just spaced them out a little bit. But it definitely made it a lot easier than placing them all one by one. There we go, we'll open me. Where do we go next? To the under eye patches. I'm going to add something to that, I'm not sure what yet. So I move on to the pumpkin one at the back. Apparently I've changed my mind and decided that I can just stack them on there and it looks absolutely fine. So I'm just adding a couple of those for her to pull off and use. These little charms jumping up all the time was driving me mad. So I do actually go back and stick those down momentarily. But I was looking for something else to go on here. I found this little Creep It Real word sticker, but it actually ends up on the mugs there. So I think it looks sweet on there. Going back through all the pages, seeing what I want to add to each one. There we go, having a quick look through. What have we stopped on this one for? What are we adding to this? Some little black gems on this one. Little teeny tiny black gems. This one I still want to add something, but I don't think I do. This one, I've got the paper clip at the top there, and you can't see it on the camera, but the little piece, that the eye patches are in sort of sticks up, and so the paperclip I was using didn't hold it flat, so I have switched to a little purple paperclip that's a bit shorter that stays on there much nicer. Using this Hey Boo word on the last page, cutting off the little bit that's hanging over there, popping one of these sticker kitten cats on there. I love these little sticker kitten stickers. I need to restock these. And some little black gems, a couple of sequins. Adding those on with hot glue again. There we go. And a couple of little gems from the works. These are the gold ones, gold metallic ones. I like to add things across like that, so top left, bottom right. I don't know why, that just seems to be my go-to position. There we are. Back to the under eye patches, I decided to add this little cluster. I made this earlier on, I think I skipped it because I didn't use it, but I made it to go on something. And I didn't like it in the end, but it works quite well on there. And added 3 of those little gems down there as well. This is when I decide that I'm absolutely fed up of flipping those little charms back down every time. So I use a tiny bit of double-sided tape so that they'll be easy to pull off. Obviously I wanted to be able to use them, so put one on that little star bead as well. So now they won't, hopefully they won't move as much when you're flipping through. Back to the, oh no, we're still on the safety pin one. Do I add anything? I think about a puffy sticker, I don't think I do. Flipping back through them again. It is a lot of like flipping backwards and forwards when I make things like this, and I just sort of go through and see what I want to add to each page. I knew I wanted something on the front here. I apologise, it's gone out of focus a little bit because it's focusing on the ribbon, but it comes back. There you go. I wanted something on the front, so I've got this gold like eyelash trim, is that what you'd call that? I've just tied that onto the jump ring. Apparently we do stick with the orange jump ring. Not jump ring, what's it called? Oh, what is the word? Book ring? Binder ring? One of those. It's one of those. And then I tie on some purple chalk as well. Again, flipping through, making sure I don't want to add anything. Decide to add some beads on the front. So this is where I grab out a jump ring and I wire wrap a few different beads. Those little sort of circular beads I use as bead caps if things are going to go through, if the end of the pin isn't wide enough to stop the bead. I use those. They were recommended to me by Cheryl. And then I'm wire wrapping a bunch of other beads using that bead looper tool. That is from Amazon and it is a game changer. It makes wire wrapping so quick. And I'm adding all of those beads onto a giant jump ring. And then I just slide that onto the bigger ring so they hang nicely at the front there. I definitely do really like the way the hand wrapped beads look, but this is just so much quicker. I add beads so much more now, I don't need to sit and wire wrap them by hand. Adding another one there, apparently I needed some pink. Everything needs a bit of pink. And I've got a skull bead, what else have we got on there? Some purple, a little gold star, all sorts of goodies on that little jump ring. Then I want to add this spiderweb ribbon, but I don't want to tie it in a knot because you'll see a lot of the back of the ribbon. So I decide to scrunch it up and staple it, and that works quite well. But I want it sort of sandwiched in between the other 2 trims, otherwise it separates itself. So I untie the purple tulle and then tie it above the ribbon so that it sandwiches it between the 2 and it holds it a bit nicer, a bit closer together. I do realise though that it's still not staying quite where I want it to. I need to sort of pinch them in the middle, that you can see there. So I decide to hot glue a little bow on the front there, and I use this one, I think that one's from Rosie Studio again, a little felt pink bow. And that is our tag flip complete. So I hope you have enjoyed hanging out and crafting with me, and I will be back again to craft with you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.